So we're now entering the no calculator section. Okay, so let's see, find the roots. They all have an x, so I'm going to take out an x. Oh, and they all divide by 2. So 2x, 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 2x. X cubed minus 6x squared plus 3x plus 10. So I look here and I go, oh my gosh, I have no choice. I can't do factor by grouping, so I have to do PQ. Let me make sure I do this so I don't forget that that's one of my zeros, and I got to find 3 more. So this is my P, that's my Q, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 10. Q, plus or minus 1, and since for PQ, is this divided by this? Done. 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 So there is none, and in a sense there isn't that. Yes, you need to show me work, so I know you didn't just stop at the P. Now I go PQ, 1, negative 6, 3, 10. And honestly, I have not looked, so I have no idea. So I am just going to start with 1 because I'm a methodical person. Bring down the 1, this times this plus this. This times this plus this. Nope, that doesn't work. Negative 1. I'm going to cross it off so I don't look at it. Bring it down. This times this plus this. This times this plus this. Ooh, cool, it works. So now x equals negative 1 is another answer. I got 2 of them, I have 2 left. If I have 2 left, this is 1x squared minus 7x plus 10, which is x squared minus 7x plus 10. And I can factor that. 2 numbers that multiply to get 10 and add to get 7, oops, are 5 and 2. So x equals 5, x equals 2. If you don't see that, you're going to keep doing PQ. You'll eventually try 5, get it. You'll eventually try 2, and you'll get it. Okay? And there's no way to check it. Well, there is. If you have a lot of time on your hands, plug in 0, and you should get 0. But you can only use, oh, by the way, in the no calculator section, you can still use this calculator, okay? You just can't use the graphing one. All right, let's go to the next page. This is factor by grouping. I'm not going to do PQ if I can factor. If you want to do PQ, you will do PQ, and you will get the same answers as me. Okay? X equals 2. The problem is if you did PQ, only 2 would work and none of the other numbers would work. You'd be left with 1, 0, 4, which you would do x squared 0x plus 4, which is my x squared plus 4. So that just seems like a pain in the tush, so I would rather just factor. I don't know why I'm having so many plus or minus 2 i's. Okay, 3 answers, x cubed, done. I look here, there is no way I can factor that, so I have to PQ. My P, my Q. Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2. Q. Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2. The PQ. This divided by this is that. This divided by this is that. But this divided by this is that, but this divided by this is that. So I do have possibilities. So PQ, 2, negative 9, 7, 2, negative 2. All right, just to have you practice with fractions, I'm just going to pick a fraction just to let you see it. So first thing I do is I bring down the 2. Half of 2 is 1, minus 9 is negative 8. Half of negative 8 is negative 4, plus 7 is 3. Ooh, that looks like a pain. Half of 3 is 1 1/2, plus 2, that doesn't work. Okay, let's try negative 1/2. Bring it down. This half of 2 is negative 1, minus 9 is negative 10. Negative 1/2 times negative 10 is 5, plus 7 is 12. Half of 12 is negative 6, plus 2 is negative 4. Oh, that one ends up working. Okay, so I got one of them. So now I got to try another one. So since I'm trying another one, I'm not looking there. Okay, I'll try 2 because they're all even. Bring down the 2. This times this plus this. This times this plus this. That doesn't work. Negative 2. Bring it down. This times this plus this. This times this. Negative 28. Negative 16. Okay, that doesn't work. Gosh, hopefully one works, or I made a mistake somewhere. Okay, bring it down. This times this plus this. This times this plus this. Woohoo! Yay, it works. Okay. So now I got two of my answers. X equals negative 1/2. Done. X equals 1. Okay? By the way, if the 1 and the negative 1 didn't work, I would have just get a piece of scratch paper and I would PQ it again, but go more slowly. And I probably made a mistake somewhere. But I didn't. Okay? So I have two of them. I have two left. 2x squared minus 8x plus 4. They're all even, so I'll divide it by 2. And 2 isn't going to get me my x. Now I can either do the quadratic formula or complete the square. I think it's easier to complete the square, but I'll show you the quadratic formula because it's more difficult. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Simplify that. The square root of 16 minus 12. Oh, minus 8 is the square root of 8. Tree it, 2, 4, 2, 2, 2 rad 2. So I have 4 plus or minus 2, divide by 2, x equals 2 plus or minus rad 2. If you did solve by completing the square, it would be a lot easier. But I wanted to show you the more difficult one. All right, there's a graphing one in the no calculator section. That makes sense. Factored form, y equals x minus 1, x plus 2, x minus 3, x minus 5. Okay? So standard form is going to take the most time, so I'm actually going to save that one for the end. Okay? The x-intercepts are 1, 0, negative 2, 0, 3, 0, 5, 0. That means the roots are 1, negative 2, 3, and 5. The y-intercept. Now some of you go, but you have to put it in standard form. Well, I can still plug in 0, so it's really negative 1 times 2 is negative 2, times negative 3 is 6, times negative 5 is negative 30. Now I'm going to fake graph it. Okay, and let's see, negative 30, 1, 3, 5, negative 2. Okay, so there's 4 x's, so it's x to the 4th. X to the 4th means it starts from the top. And whatever I decide to do, I'm going through all of them. Oopsies. Okay, so I've got that. So I've got to name some crucial points. 0, negative 30. It's got to be between 1 and 3. 2, 5. I don't know. 4, negative 1. And then this is negative infinity, positive infinity, positive infinity, positive infinity. Okay, so the max, there is no max positive infinity. There is, but there's a relative max, and I relatively max at 2, 5. I'll give you a bonus point for that. Okay. The minimum, there is a minimum. My minimum is at 0, negative 30. So that will not be a bonus if that was applicable because you stated it. Domain, everything to the left, everything to the right. The range, it's got to be from here and up. Y has got to be greater than negative 30. Negative 30, positive infinity. Now I want to point out, if you did not make that your vertex, if you went like this, and you made that your vertex, then that means maybe you decided it was negative 1, negative 37. Then that means negative 37 would go there. But I think it's easiest to make the y-intercept the vertex. Okay? Intervals. Okay, the bell's ringing, so I'm going kind of fast. This to this, decreasing. This to this, increasing. This to this, decreasing. This to this, increasing. Okay, and behavior. As x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches. As x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches. So as I did in pink, it's all based on the y value. Negative is positive. Positive is positive. Okay, so the only thing left for me to do now is put it in standard form. So I'm going to put it in standard form now. There's definitely different ways to do it. I'm going to box this out. And then I'm going to box this out. And then I'm going to do a 3 by 3. If you feel like this is going to take you too long, then let it go. I'd rather you focus on other problems that can get you there faster. Okay, I'm doing this really fast, but I hope that you get the game. Okay, so then x to the fourth. So since it's y, I'm going to do y. X to the fourth. 8 plus 1 is 9x cubed. 15 minus 8 is 7, minus 2 is 5. 15 plus 16, 31x, minus 30. Okay? Obviously, this question's worth a lot of points because there's a lot to do. All right, let's turn the page. Okay? All right, so I have this one already in factored form. So I'll write that. I'll put it in standard form later, okay? The x-intercepts, 0, 0, 0, and negative 3, 0. And I can even write bounce or multiplicity, or it might be easier if you just write it here. If you just write it here, that covers that. You don't need to write it both times, okay? To get the y-intercept, I plug in 0. 2 times 0 is 0, times anything is 0. Remember, when the x is 0, the y is 0, okay? The rest of this stuff I'm not going to be able to get until I graph it. 0, negative 3, that's my bounce. There's one x and two more, so it's x to the third. I start from the bottom, but at the negative 3, I bounce. So bounce, and have it go through. Fill it in, negative infinity, negative 3, 0, positive infinity. This one I get to make up myself. But the x value has to be between 0 and negative 3. I'll pick negative 1, negative 2. Okay? I feel like doing my intervals now, so that's what I'm going to do now. Here to here, increase. Here to here, decrease. Here to here, increase. Okay? End behavior. As x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches. As x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches. When it's negative, it's negative. When it's positive, it's positive. Okay? Max and min. There is no max, positive infinity, but technically that's your max. You'll get bonus for that. Min. There is no min, negative infinity, but technically there is one. Negative 1, negative 2, you'll get bonus for that. Domain, all real numbers, because it's everything to the left, everything to the right. Range, all real numbers, because it's everything up, everything down. Okay? So now I've covered everything. I can multiply this out. I think it's the easiest to do this first. X plus 3 times x plus 3, box it out. You get x squared plus 6x plus 9. Then multiply that by 2x. You will get y equals, boom, 2x cubed plus 12x squared plus 18x. Okay, almost done. One more. All right, domain, all real numbers. Range, all real numbers. Negative infinity, positive infinity. Negative infinity, positive infinity. Okay, I'm going to find these crucial points. That's a 2. That's a negative 1. That's a negative 4. There are no bounces, so I just write it as, function. F of x equals x plus 1, x plus 4, x minus 2. Okay? Factored form. Standard form, I'll multiply it out. Oh, I can do that right now. Box these two out. I end up getting x squared plus 5x plus 4. Then I box it out again. So I do my 2 by 3, and I end up with f of x equals x cubed plus 3x squared minus 6x minus 8. Okay? All right, relative max. Relatively speaking, that is your max. So negative 2, I'm fine, just fake it. Negative 2, 2. Relative min. We'll say 1, negative 2.